Hello everybody and welcome to another breakdown video. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Pixar Disney's latest offerings trailer, Luca. There's some really cool stuff in this and they've really brought out some great ideas for how to create depth in shots and just construction of framing within shots. So let's jump into it and take a look at this masterfully crafted little piece of work. So if you haven't seen the trailer to this latest short yet, it'll be down in the description below so you can find it, check it out so you can suss out all the beautiful audio that goes along with it and get an idea about what the story is and where things are going. But outside of this, I am just going to pick, I think there's like 7 shots I really want to talk about where they've done a beautiful shot of actually coming up with a story with inside the frame. So looking at what's inside the framing, what's telling the story with inside the frame, how they've used lighting to actually give some beautiful ideas for depth within their image. So let's just jump right into it. All right, first shot I want to have a bit of a look at is this one here. It's a simple little shot of a boat just going into town, but there's some really nice framing ideas inside this. The first thing which I kind of looked at was, they haven't actually put everything dead center or flat. The only flat thing which is sort of in here is implied. If we kind of look at what's implied, you think about the horizon line down in here, behind the rocks, you can sort of see a bit of a line at where the wharf would be. You can't see a flat line there, but it's implied that it's going to be there. But what I really love about what they've done in here is they've given us these really nice shapes of a hill which lead down into a valley. And it's not just this one that leads down here and then you get this little line down here. It's also this hill back here. It kind of leads you up and back down to accentuate this downward shape. You've also got this little cloud here which brings you over to this side as well to help lead you to thinking that this side's the frame is a bit heavier. They've also got, if you look at the shape of the way these houses come in and around inside this the wharf or the center of town. There's one alley down here which is the dark spot inside this is like this little alley spot, but you've got all these roofs lead in a curve around here as well as this heavy side rocks. So if we get into looking at the rocks as well, and then this last little shape at the front which is the foreground. So if you look at what we've got set up on thirds, we've got thirds on this side. You've got almost a convergent of all these points here on this third, and then you've got a big heavy shape which is on this third here, which all really weighs down to actually sort of balance out where these focus points are, which give you this nice balance feel to the shot, even though you've got all of the action which is happening here with the boat leading you that way, and you've also got these birds up here which circle around in the shot and they're just going round and round. So you've got a little bit of motion, but you've got these nice lines. On top of all of that, there's one other thing or 2 other things I want to talk about within this shot that works really well to bring it together. The first one is color. Like this middle ground here to help create the depth. This middle ground back here in the hill is a nice greeny yellow color. It's all got similar light all landing on it, and it's the really nice yellowy color. Then the background color, if we look at that, this hill back in here is actually well lit or in shadow with a darker green color. So that's actually given us a clear definition between these two to create the depth that's there. And then the buildings in the front, which I thought was totally cleverest as well, are all done within a yellowy orange hue. So you've got very distinct separation between all the elements within this shot, because down the front in the water, even though the horizon line is incredibly low, you've got these different layers which layer up to create the depth within this particular shot, which I just love this. I think it's just really well constructed to get this beautiful shot of this lovely little village. Next one I want to talk about is this particular shot. I really like this shot as well. Looking at, the lines and the way they're going to lead you around within it. But I really love this frame, the way the camera, it just drifts with like the sign of the arrow here as well. You got the arrow which is pointing you that way and you're like, oh yeah, okay, what's happening? Well, the camera's drifting that way. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cute. But you've also got, looking back at it, you've got these, this clear frame here, the door frame inside the frame of the picture, which it really frames up your characters beautifully. I like that. Horizon line in here, when you look at the horizon line, you can guess that it's actually drawn in here, which I thought was really clever, by the bricks on the side and the rendering on the top, which if you look at the rendering, you've got yellow, this beautiful yellow color, which is rendered on the side of the wall here. And then that yellow color, if you look at it, is repeated down in here, which is the sunlight coming through an implied window to the side here. And then you've also got it on this wall at the back. So that color is layered up and repeated within the shot. Then you've also got the characters are actually all in quite a darker spot. If you look at them inside this room, they're darker in here. Like the walls are all darker and the roof's all darker. But because you've got the breakup of the light on the ground and the breakup of the light coming through the doorway onto the back wall, you can actually see that there's depth there. And on top of that, they've also given us clear silhouettes. Like this guy breaks a lot of different lines here. You've got the lines of the bar, which come back here. You've got the lines of the door, which are split up by those two characters, and they break up. They're broken by a lot of horizontal, vertical, and distance lines. So it gives them really nice, clear silhouettes, as well as having this beautiful edge lighting around them. If we look at that, you can see that he's got a real bright light that way, and if that was a true light, then he would have the light over this side, but no, he's lit up and he's got a bright light that side. This guy's also, you can see that he's got a bit of a bright light there on that one. So the characters have got light on their faces, which pops them off the darker background, as well as having the silhouette to the really bright light in the background. So I really love the way this is layered up, as well as structured with inside the frame, to give this a beautiful little story with inside this shot as well. Looking at this shot, what I really love about this shot is there's no horizontal or vertical lines. If you're looking for horizontal or vertical lines within this, nothing's there. That's what I love about this. I mean, you look at the houses, they're traveling along, as if you're looking up at them, which is nice. They're traveling along at a diagonal across the screen, as well as the clothesline. It's a diagonal across the screen. So you've got these beautiful diagonals which come across. And then not just that, you've also got the walls, which are all diagonals as well. This is the closest thing to the middle here. It's the closest thing to the middle. One single frame, which I did as that one. The closest thing to the middle here is what you've got as a vertical line, and it's right in the middle, and it's only up to half the frame, which I thought was really, really beautiful. Again, contrasting again, you've got blue sky over here, blue sky down here, with then the contrasting color of a red wall here, which, contrast gives you that chance to have clear separation between foreground and background, as well as this then really bright sunshine back here. Now, not only have they made the sunshine bright yellow or really bright light, but if you look at all these clothes which are hanging off this as well, they're all a very similar color to being that bright yellow for what the sun would be, which, you know, again, looks very appealing in the way that this one's structured. And of course that then crosses to, it cuts straight to another shot where you've got no vertical or horizontal lines, like all the cobblestones are off at an angle. And I really love the use of the shadows here, which brings in more texture into the ground to say that you can see cross-reference and know that he's walking underneath it. We didn't have much in the way of shadows before, but now we bring in the character. We've got the shadows onto the ground. We've got all the cobblestones are all off on angles rather than vertical and horizontal. And it gives it a real it's an off-putting sort of feel to it. It's kind of weird to look at because there's nothing flat in here, which is why I really kind of think that these shots really jump out at you, because they just tip you off a bit. Now this particular shot, there's two shots which I think again are just really crafted nicely. This is one of them. I mean, we start off, the first thing which you've probably heard me say a few times, is having a frame inside a frame. But you've got your window, we're looking from inside the room out, but that frame inside a frame is really nice. And you can see that you've got the light from a TV in here, which is lighting up the room, or the shapes which are back in here, and you can just see it's really soft on them. And it just gives you a bit of a hint that there's something happening here. But of course your main focus is on that contrasting red light back down in here. If we look at this red light, there's only really this one wall that's really well lit here. You know, the shapes are very complex about what's blocking it out, but you've got a very similar color. You know, it's a blue, and then you're looking at the blue color at the front here, and the blue color on the buildings back here. Very creatively, there's a couple of yellow pops. You know, you've got a yellow pop here, and a yellow pop there, which you're using the light then to go, okay, cool, well, while we've balanced this side with some yellow pops, your focus is over here with the darker shadows. So if we, you know, you're looking at the dark shadows in front of the red light, which is drawing your attention to back there, and everything else is a darker color. And so you're balancing out that silhouette with those yellow pops and the red wall, and it just draws your focus back deep into the depth of the picture, and really drags you into the world. Because, you know, if you look at how much screen real estate is actually given to the front part of the shot, it's like 3/4 of the shot is this foreground element, which is really close to you. But because of the way it's lit and the way it's kind of fielded and structured, you're wanting to go deep within this frame, which is really, it's really nice. And the last shot I wanted to talk about is just this shot here. Again, very similar to the last one. You're looking at this really dark foreground here. Takes most of the shot up just with walls. You've got a nice warm or a warmer red color down in here with the buildings, which we've got used to seeing now, or you've seen from the other shot. They've used that red light. We've got lots of yellow light down here. But of course, the big thing which really draws your attention, number one, is that it's a sphere and it's a circle and it's white compared to all this dark color, which just, you know, you look at it and go, boom, that's where my eye is attracted to. And the thing which really draws you to inside breaking up this circle is this beautiful little dark silhouette, which is clearly defined as a character, arms away from the body, legs set apart, and it's clearly away from the roof as well. Like, you know, they've really given that character the space to be able to jump, bounce, and appear happy as she skips across the roof. You know, and the camera is moving in an opposite direction, the same direction. The camera's just got a real nice little drift just to give it a little bit of life as she skips along. And I really like this hot line here under the arch, because there's really no way that these lights are going to be lighting up at such a hot arch there. Those lights are way too deep within that photo. So they've got a light in here to just really make that line ping and give a clear definition between the background of the city, the front wall, and then that, you know, the darkness of everything else at the front. So there you have it. If you're looking forward to Luca, please leave me a comment and tell me why you think this is going to be something that you're looking forward to. Love to hear from you. So until the next time when I break down another movie for some awesome shots which I think are really cool, I'll say bye-bye.